Right now on Inside Texoma, we are taking an inside look at the American Red Cross. It is the American Red Cross month, so of course, a big highlight and a big focus on the nonprofit. We're also going to be telling you how you can become a hero.
Absolutely. We'd like everybody to be a hero, and all that is a $1,000 commitment to support the Red Cross. It's $1,000 that you're going to try to bring in. So if you don't make it, you can still be a hero. We just would love for everybody to join us and support your neighbors through the Heroes program with the American Red Cross.
And this is also something that even the little ones, even the youth of Texoma can get involved in. We're going to give you all the details, how you can make a big difference, and the big difference that all these volunteers are making on a daily basis here in Texoma. It's quite impressive. It all starts right now on Inside Texoma. Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. Thanks for joining us for another look inside Texoma. This morning, we're taking an inside look at the American Red Cross, and it's a very appropriate topic because this month is all about the American Red Cross as we highlight the nonprofit organization and all they do for our community. Also taking a look at how you can get involved. And joining me now for more is Katrina Farmer. She is the Executive Director of the American Red Cross of North Central Texas. And Katrina, we appreciate you being here this morning. There's so much to get to, so we quickly want to jump into it and just really start with focusing on the Hero campaign. And I love this because it really reaches out to Texoma.
It absolutely does. You can be a hero for North Central Texas. All you have to do is commit to trying to raise at least $1,000 for the Red Cross. You can do it any way you want. You can have a bake sale, you can do a car wash. It's a great opportunity for youth groups to get together and support their community because the money stays right here local and helps people affected by disasters in North Central Texas.
And I have to say, you know, at first when you might hear the $1,000, it might seem, oh my goodness, I can't do that. That's too overwhelming. I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to let them down. But I love how you said groups of people can do this, you know, whether it's your company or an organization, correct?
Absolutely. We have a couple of organizations here in town, a couple restaurants that are asking their customers to each give $1. So it takes 1,000 people $1 at a time, you know. So any little thing that you can do will help the Red Cross and support the people that are affected by disasters.
And you have a little bit of time here to raise the money. How long do we have?
You sure do. You need to sign up as soon as possible just so that we've got you in the queue. But you don't have to be actually signed up with us till the last week of April. We want to make sure we get your logo and your name and your picture so that we can put you in the paper the first week of May to thank all of our heroes.
And is the goal here, what if they come just under it or just shy? I mean, obviously we want everyone to succeed, but that's not all pressure,
we want
correct?
them to try to bring in $1,000. If they don't make it, that's great. You're still a hero. You're still a hero. You still tried to bring in and help the Red Cross.
Because every little bit helps,
Every little bit helps. Every $20 check we get, the $25 the kids bring in from a penny drive, that all counts. We have the happy dance at the Red Cross office no matter how big the check is.
I love that. And something else I think that's really encouraging and probably even inspiring to a lot of people watching right now is that kids are getting involved in this, and they're stepping up and being heroes.
Absolutely. There's a group of kids in Sweetwater, Texas, who brought in $3,500 for the Red Cross by parking cars at the Rattlesnake Roundup. So it can be done by kids. These were middle school kids, and so it's it's an awesome idea. Think of something that your youth group can do, your soccer team. It teaches kids to give back as well. And it really is your Red Cross. We can be there for you tomorrow. We don't know when the storms are going to hit, when earthquakes are going to happen, when floods are going to happen, and the Red Cross is always there. But we're always there because the community supports us and makes sure that we're there.
And, that's something to kind of talk about. How important is this money, and how important are these heroes to the Red Cross?
That's what makes it happen. We respond almost every day to some sort of an incident. There's 70,000 incidents a year that the American Red Cross responds to in the United States. It adds up financially. We're able to help people out and give them hope and take care of them the first few days after a disaster, make sure they have food and clothing and shelter, and they have somewhere to stay, just helping them on the first few steps to the roads of recovery, and that's all paid for here in Texoma by people from Texoma. That's it. We can't do it without you.
And you know, we brag a lot on Texoma because this is such a generous community. I mean, anytime there's a need, it seems like they just step up and go above and beyond. So this is the chance to do it again,
Absolutely.
Right?
Come and be a hero. You know, it's really important to be there for people when they need your help, and that's what the Red Cross does. We take the money that's donated to us. We're not federally funded. That's kind of a misnomer. People think that. We're not a government agency. We are a nonprofit agency that works here locally in Texoma, and we take care of people here. So you give us the money, and we make sure that it goes and takes care of people that really need it.
And something else I find very interesting, and I'm kind of just learning too, you know, numerous times I've been to the American Red Cross office to maybe do an interview, to chat with one of you guys, and there's lots of offices in there. I mean, there's tons of offices and people working, but you told me there's only 3 people.
There's only 3 paid staff. Everybody else that you see at the Red Cross office is a volunteer.
Wow.
Nationwide, the Red Cross, 99% of our staff, we call them all staff. If you're a staff, you're a volunteer
Sure.
or paid. 99% of us are volunteers. And even those of us who do get a paycheck, the 3 out of the queue there, we volunteer our time as well. So it really is a volunteer agency. And volunteers are empowered at the Red Cross. You know, we're looking for more volunteers, people to come in. You really do work hand in hand, first face to face with those people, with clients, with people who have lost their homes. You're actually doing the Red Cross work. It's very different than any other nonprofit I've ever worked for. The boots on the ground are volunteers.
How impressive is it when you see a group of kids or an organization or, you know, just a single individual say, you know what, I want to step up and I want to donate my time and the funds that I can make and raise and my hard-earned money to helping this out. I mean, what does that mean to you? Because you're in the office, you see where this money goes.
It means so much to us. In the last month, we've had 2 people who we have helped in the past come forward. One of them lost their home a couple of years ago, and he came in, he saw the Heroes ad, and he wrote us a check for $1,000. Another one was someone who lost their home recently in that apartment fire, and they came in and wrote us a check. And that brings tears to my eyes to see that somebody cared enough about what we did to turn around and put back to the next person. Wow. You know, so it can bring tears to your eyes. It's a very emotional place to work. We see people at their most desperate, and we see people at their greatest. You know, so it's an awesome organization.
Wow. And if that doesn't say a lot about where your hard-earned money is going, I mean, knowing that people you've helped in the past now are coming in to help others just proves it's all worth it, huh?
They're paying it forward. They're paying it forward. And we really, really need to make sure that the Red Cross is funded before that next disaster. You know, we can't wait until there's another flood here in Wichita Falls. Not that we think that's going to happen since it doesn't rain, but yesterday we might have seen a glimpse of that, you know. But we need to make sure that the Red Cross has enough money to do what we need to do when that disaster strikes.
Always being prepared, absolutely. Well, Katrina, we have so much more to talk about, I know, but we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, I'm joined with Katrina Farmer with the American Red Cross, and she is here today just talking about all of the different things the American Red Cross does and how you can get involved in Texoma. Something I found very interesting, of course, volunteers and all the things they do that you might just not have known that the American Red Cross even took part in. Yeah,
the biggest thing that our volunteers do is the disaster action team. And those are the volunteers that are on call for a 24-hour period, 7 days a week for 1 week at a time. They volunteer to be the person that's on call to go out and respond to those disasters. They, within an hour here in Wichita Falls, will arrive at a house fire and make sure that the people are taken care of and have a place to stay and replacement clothing and food and all those services that we can give them. To make sure that they're okay and they're taking care of those humanitarian needs. Another thing that we do is the services to the armed forces, which volunteers are on call for that as well, to make sure that communications happen. Say there's a soldier who's he's in Afghanistan and there's an injury or an illness here in Wichita Falls. Those people call the Red Cross office and we get it all hooked up and all the information gets to the soldier and hopefully sent home as quickly as possible through communications with the Red Cross. It's kind of neat. Every now and then you meet somebody who says, I found out my daughter was born when I was in Vietnam and a Red Cross volunteer told me. You know, so that's kind of cool. It's a little more electronic now than it used to be, you know, but it's very important what we do for the services to the armed forces as well.
That's something interesting. Maybe something a lot of people didn't even know that the American Red Cross took part in. So.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, you hate to hear, of course, of anybody losing their home to a fire or a natural disaster. But, you know, there's been a lot of families lately that you have been able to assist thanks to the volunteers and those funds coming in that have unfortunately lost their homes in our area.
Yeah, the givingness of the American people have allowed us, and of our local people have allowed us to be able to go out and take care of people. And we're always looking for volunteers, people that want to give back to their community and want to be a part of something. This is really a kind of cool organization to be a part of, to get to go out and see people and really help them and really make a difference in their lives. And our clients actually say that one of the most valuable things we give is emotional support and a hug. And you know, that's pretty important when you just don't know where you're going to go 2 minutes from now, you know. And when we arrive, a lot of times the firemen are still there, the house is still smoking, and you know, you ask people, do you have somewhere to stay? And most of the time they say they don't. You know, and so we put them in a hotel, and we make sure they have food and they have clothing. They have some shoes to put on their kids tomorrow, and they have food to put in their kids' bellies, and that's important. That's important.
Things you just don't think about, you
know,
but when you've lost it all, now someone's there to kind of step in.
And it doesn't matter how much money you make. You could use the Red Cross eventually. You know, there are things that happen that are outside of your control. You know, and if your house burns down in the middle of the night, it doesn't matter who you are. If your credit card's burned up, you can't go to a hotel and check in. You know, so and the Red Cross never asks how much you make. That's not what it's about. It's about meeting the humanitarian needs of our neighbors.
How do you find out? Does the fire department, are they actually involved as well?
Yes, the fire department actually calls us. We have great relationships with all of our volunteer fire departments and our local fire departments here in Wichita Falls. They call us first thing, and we get moving as soon as we get the call. They call and tell us how many people we have involved and a street address, a location, and we rush as quick as we can. Our volunteers keep teddy bears and blankets in their cars and all their paperwork and are ready to respond at the spur of a moment. When we have like an apartment fire, we obviously send in more than one team. We all work in teams. So we send in 3 or 4 teams to the last apartment fire, you know, to make sure that we can meet the needs of the people there and not overwhelm our volunteers. But we're always looking for more volunteers. There's you know, and there's a need every day for volunteers. And then we have things like last year on April 15th when the whole world caught on fire here, and you know, we needed 10 more volunteers for every one we had, you know. So we invite people to come and join us and become a part of the Red Cross and get your training so that when those disasters happen, you're ready. You know, walking in the door the day of a disaster is great, and we can use you, but we can really use you if you've got training.
Absolutely, and I love that. That's something interesting, because you might think, hey, I want to help, I want to do something and give back, but I don't know what to say. I don't know how to approach people, what to do, where to go. So training is involved.
Training is very, very important. And you start out with some basic training about what the Red Cross is, and then you go in different directions depending on what you're interested in. You could take sheltering classes so that you learn how to open and close a shelter and how to take care of people. You can take casework classes where you learn how to comfort people and make sure that you're meeting their needs and getting them to tell you right after a disaster what they need from you. All of that's important. So we have people that have taken feeding classes. We have a feeding trailer that the Hotter Than Hell Committee paid for us, so we can go out and feed people out when there's big wildfires and that kind of stuff. We've got people that can actually cook and make meals, and you know, it's just very interesting. The opportunities for a volunteer in the Red Cross are almost endless. You know, and then we have people that have taken so much training that they actually deploy nationally to the big disasters. And the benefit to our local chapter when a volunteer goes to a big disaster like a Joplin, Missouri, or a Birmingham, Alabama, to the big tornadoes, you know, they come back here and they've learned how to do things better or faster or quicker, or don't do this, that was bad, you know. So it's very important, and it really strengthens our local chapter to send those people out to those.
That's something, because it's real life experience that you can now bring back and share with others.
Yeah, it makes you stronger here.
Absolutely. So. Well, we have much more to get to, like we've been saying. I know it's going to be a full show with lots of information. So Don't go anywhere, but we'll be right back with more Inside Texoma.